Hello, hello. Had to get some beverages. I got my water, got my little mini Diet Coke. I'm going to crack open now. How is everyone doing this weekend? There's my satisfying Diet Coke. I got the live score open in a tab for Norway versus England. Looks like England's winning. Now that USA is out, I don't follow sports. I don't really care, but you got to root for the home team. So I was kind of hoping America would do well, but we're out. So England's my new home team. That's my home away from home anyway. So go England. How you doing? Got a bowl of pasta? Sounds delish. Let me make sure I have all my stuff open here. Okay. And I need the reference that you see on the screen. I need to open that full size for myself to look at because I really want to figure out what to do with the leafy background. I kind of want to get that sorted out now because I know myself and I know if I get the binturong looking good, we're just going to do solid green for the background and call it a day. But I'd like to do something with it, even if it's very simple. So I was thinking maybe doing just like some leaf brushes as texture behind him. Not just in the spots where I have it sketched, but like behind the whole thing. So I'm just going to mess around with it for a little bit. I'd like to do something else on this stream today too, so I don't know if that means wrapping up the binturong quickly, or if that means working on him another time, and then doing something else. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's see what leafy things I have for brushes, what I can work with. Foliage shape stamps. I've downloaded all kinds of things and I never use them. So let's just see. Whimsical leafy swirl. See, maybe I could do vines or something like that. Oh, that's kind of cute. Now, do binturongs live in places where there are vines? Because if I could do a couple of these mixed with hand-drawn ones, that's kind of cute. Let me see. Where do because I don't want to, like, if they're only native to places where you wouldn't find things like that, that's kind of silly. Binturong habitat. Tropical rainforests, okay. Rainforest vines, like just show me some. Yeah, there's like leafy, viney things in the rainforest. I think we could work with that. Maybe do a couple like actual like vines swirling down too. That'd be kind of cool. All right, I think we can simplify that and do something with that to make the background a little more interesting than it currently is. And they do live in rainforests, so it's good. All right, we're gonna get rid of this layer for right now. And yeah, I think we'll leave him landscape. I can't move him too far up or down the way I have him. I could distort the whole thing and level him out, but I like that he's on a slight incline. It naps. I'm just gonna sketch where I think some vines should go really roughly, and then I'll do like nicer versions drawn in my style on top. Yeah, he is napping. This is just to get an idea. I do this with like braids. I do this one book project for this client I work with where this character has braids, and I have a braid brush that I'll use to lay down like the shape, and then I'll draw over it with my line style so it doesn't look like I used a brush. So I'm gonna try to do something similar to that. Maybe just like some, and then some further in the back, smaller, just a few layers. It's like a blankie of leaves, Oops, I gotta silence my phone here. Oh. And scoot this to the right so I can see that. It looks like the game is nearly over. I don't know anything about sports or football. I just want to know if England won. That's all I care about knowing. Alright, so I had the score visible, I have my rainforest vine reference, and I have my binturong reference. Alright, I think I have everything I need. So that's good. Get like a long, thin one there. Maybe like, ooh, I could have some up front too. On top of everything. I'm thinking like, where do I want it to overlap though? Maybe like here? Yeah, I don't want it to cover anything important. Just like parts of the branch. I don't want to cover up that tail, because I like the tail a lot. I think the tail is the best part of the picture, to be honest, so far. Maybe we'll keep the shapes real simple, like, you know. Wait, go back. That was on the wrong layer. Let's do, and this. And then we can do, like, maybe a couple bigger. And I'll do these in different shades of green, too, I think. This is just to get an idea. And then behind even that, I'd like to do, whoa, some smaller ones, and then we're gonna like Gaussian blur them a little bit, just to add a little depth. This is just a rough idea. Just a little blurry, like so. Maybe I don't like that. Do I like that? I don't know. All right, well, for now, yeah, I do like it. It adds a little something. Okay, so what I will do is put a layer on top of all these guys, nice and on top, and we're gonna lower the opacity of these and use them as a guide and actually hand draw my own vines. And maybe I should make my own vine brushes and things so I don't have to do this again, but we'll just do them real loose. And we'll use, where's that chalk brush that I love? We're gonna get used to this. Maybe I'll do like 1 or 2 different shapes and then repeat them and change them a little bit so it's not too repetitive, but also I'm not sitting here doing this for hours. A healthy medium. We're gonna hide the up top ones for right now and just focus on this, like the layer we're gonna blur. So get a nice chunky chalk brush and hand paint in these. And I don't mind if they're fully opaque or not, because especially this background layer is going to get blurred. And instead of using Gaussian blur, maybe I make these blurry by making them really faded and not well rendered like this. That way it gets that faded effect without, because what's throwing me off is like how soft the blur looks compared to the other layers. I'm not crazy about that, so I think we're going to get a blurred in the distance effect by just making them really loose and not solid. And then also the color will be like more faded into the sky. It'll be a little more blue perhaps. Something like that. And I don't mind if they're not like connected on this layer either, like there's no actual vine going through it. They're kind of just like loose leaves in a line. That also kind of pushes it back too. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I think I'll do like 2 unique vines in this style, and then I'll just flip them and resize them. I think that'll get the effect that I want, I think. Ooh, I don't love it coming out from behind the tail here. I don't want anything distracting from the tail, so I'm just going to leave that one that way. And we'll do maybe like every other vine is the same one flipped, so it's not too apparent what's happening. It's not cheating if it's your own art, you know? You can take shortcuts, it's fine. And then still there's going to be original leaves drawn down here too, so it's not going to look too samey. You just don't want it to look copied and pasted. That's when it starts to look bad. And then maybe a little variety of shape too. Maybe have some that kind of curl down a bit. One that goes up a little. One that goes up a little on this side. And they can be kind of funky shapes. Generally, I think them pointing down looks better, but I just don't want every leaf to be identical because I think that's boring, so. Let's see. I'd like to get a better visual, a close-up of some vines. Rainforest vines, close. I'm gonna look at the texture of them. Like the woody, twisty vines. So I kind of want to put one going through the back. That might be too much with all the leaves and stuff, but I like the idea of it. Okay, that's a good. I'll keep that for later. It's in the back of my mind. This is already getting crookedy over here, so I'm gonna straighten this out a smidge. Let's see if maybe I'll do some guidelines on top real quick to make sure it's generally straight. Let's scoot that over. All right, that's basically following a straight line. I wasn't too far off. Cool. All right. And I hope everyone's weekend is going well. I only didn't stream yesterday because I had my friend's husband is a musician and was throwing a house show in their basement, which is a really cool venue. It's cool that like they have the lights set up and the amps and it's like a proper little venue, but there's also a washer and dryer in full view because it's literally just somebody's basement. So it was really cool. It was really cool. And then one of the performers, a couple fans of hers came from a ways away and missed the show. Basically, they're like, "Oh, did so and so perform yet?" She's like, "Sorry, the show's over." But she's like, "You know what? I'll do one more song just for you guys." And it was really cute. It was a really cute moment. Let's see. I gotta move this out of the way here. The basement, yeah. It was a cool venue. And it was a very small basement, too. They've done 2 shows there so far, and I've been to both. And I hope they keep doing them. So that's where I was yesterday instead of streaming. Mosh pit in the washing machine, basically. Like, the first show was more like scene pop punk type music. And there was like a little mosh pit going in like the 3 feet to the right of the washer and dryer. It was pretty funny. It was good vibe for a show. And I did not go see 4th of July fireworks. I was like, what else has happened recently? But I'm glad I didn't because I was too lazy to go all the way to Navy Pier to watch fireworks. You could hear them going off all up and down the street. But then I saw footage. It was totally encased in fog. You couldn't see a single firework unless you were... Maybe there was some footage of people that were on boats on the lake and they could see faintly some fireworks, but you literally couldn't see a single firework from Navy Pier. So being lazy actually paid off. But I guess they gave people like free Ferris wheel rides or something to try to make up for the lack of fireworks display, which is pretty funny. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. for what? Watching fireworks? Or oh yeah, they're still going off. It's the 11th of July and they're still... It's like, can you just use up all the fireworks on the 4th? Nobody wants to hear this stuff like a week out. Like, not to be a party pooper, but like, isn't it more fun if you use your entire supply on the holiday? I never understood that. Like, why have some extras? Like, maybe if the 4th falls on a Friday and you do Friday, Saturday, fine. Nobody wants to hear fireworks on the 11th. We're over it. Pop them all off. We've had it. But yeah, I didn't have to go anywhere. It's every street in the city, somebody's got fireworks going on, So you don't need to go far. All right, I want this one to extend, like... This one's kind of going off the screen, which I like. This one's kind of going off the screen, which I like. This one should be a little shorter. We need some length variety happening here. Stop it, like, right here. Just a little bit higher. Well, next big holiday. Halloween. Do people do fireworks for Halloween? I mean, I guess they do fireworks for everything, but get spooky fireworks though. Like get a new supply. Like I love the idea of the firework obsessed neighbors who just get like themed fireworks. The way they do it like Disney, they have the Christmas fireworks that are like shaped like presents and stuff. Like that one neighbor who can't put away their Christmas tree, so they just redecorate it for every holiday. My sister kind of does that, which is fun. It's like, yeah, we're doing the Easter tree now. We're doing the Valentine's Day tree. Yep. I get it. It's like so depressing when you take the Christmas tree down because you get that nice warm light that you got so used to. It's depressing. It's like, yeah, you can't leave the Christmas tree up year round, but like you need something in that like vacant spot in the living room. It's so grim. And January's already like the worst month of the year. So this is the kind of banter we have. It's just like weather and holidays. But scare them kids. All right. I don't know why I keep zooming in and out. I think these leaves on the bottom are like smaller than the ones on top, and that's throwing me off. So let's, whoa, why did it do that? I don't like that it like glitched like that. That's freaking me out. Make these a little bit bigger and then I'll cut a few off. Why is it doing that? Okay. Oh, Procreate. There's always something new with you. One more maybe, like that. There we go. You got any plans for how you're going to scare them kids this year? Are you going to be... My favorite bit for Halloween is when they do, like, the guy on the porch who's dressed up like a jackal... Or not a jack-o'-lantern, like a scarecrow or something, and he jumps and moves as soon as the candy bucket gets touched or whatever. Like, that's fun. That's a good, like, old man thing to do for Halloween. Alright, that's the blur layer. So we're going to do slightly more defined vines, I think, on this next layer. Oh, wait. I wanted to add more. Whoops. Let's, we're just going to copy and paste this one. I'm still not crazy about how that's glitching like that. That's kind of freaking me out, but yeah, let's do that here. Flip it. Bring these ones up to here. And then we're going to take this one, whoops, from this layer, duplicate, reverse, do it like here, and bring these up. And that's the blur layer, so. You've done many things. You found out someone makes puppets, you're going to bring a long pink lizard boy to the front. Terrify those children. Are you gonna make like a Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic style puppet, or just hoping that there's kids that are just scared of puppets, the way that some kids are just scared of mascots? That's always funny when you go to like Disneyland and it's like most like kids, like 80% are excited about like Mickey coming out, and then there's like 20% that are just terrified. And it's like you would think that they would have encountered a mascot at like a sports event or something at some point and like known that it's just like a person in a costume, but I guess it depends on how little the kid is too, but it's very funny to bring kids to like the place where you're going to see like a giant mouse costume guy, knowing that your kid is scared of mice costume guys. Just a long pink lizard. Cute. Okay. What was I thinking? Okay. Get rid of this layer. Bam. Boom. Then we'll do this one. Alright. And slightly more defined leaves for this layer. I still don't care if they're super detailed or realistic or anything. It's more the vibe than the realism. Some younger kids be braver than... Yeah, that's true. You see that at theme parks too. You get like the little tiny kids that brave the biggest, baddest roller coasters you've ever seen in your life. And grown adults still won't do them, you know? I always feel silly when I get scared to go on a roller coaster and I see some 7-year-old in line. It's like, please. Like, you're braver than this 7-year-old. Get it together. You're gonna be fine. And as much as I love roller coasters, it's like I have to break myself in with one roller coaster when I go to a theme park. I have to ride one to remember that like I find them fun and not scary. And then they're all fine for the rest of the day, but that first one's always terrifying no matter how many I do. The first one of the day is always scary. So I try to do a bigger one. So it's like everything else feels like a piece of cake after, you know? It's like I get amnesia and I forget how roller coasters feel, so I need to like remind myself that it's like fun. I had to do that at Cedar Point. I think I went on Raptor first, and that's like not one of the bigger coasters because Cedar Point is just stacked with like the best coasters in the planet, but I had to like warm up with Raptor. You were a brave kid. I was scared of roller coasters as a kid, which is weird because I love them now, but I squandered 2 different class trips to Cedar Point as a kid by just going on like the medium and small roller coasters. And it's literally the best theme park on the planet for coasters. And I just wasted the opportunity because I was scared. So I'm glad I got to go as an adult and actually brave all the big bad coasters except Top Thrill, which was under construction when I went, sadly. And I haven't been on Top Thrill 2. You like the vines? Thank you. And a little something. I wasn't happy with when I opened this up to prepare for the stream. I was like, I kind of hate the like chunks of green I have. I like the vines a lot better. Needed something, man. I'm trying to get better about doing backgrounds in general, even if it's simple. You just need a little something, something. Not crazy with how crowded they are up at the top compared to the bottom, so we're gonna fix that. Nothing the eraser can't fix. And then we'll actually work a vine into these because they're a little bit closer to the viewer. I don't care if the ones in the background have a vine or not. Okay, I think that looks okay, and then we're gonna, hold on, we're gonna hide this layer real quick. And just duplicate, maybe make this one a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to change some of the leaf shapes on these two. Hold on. So that one, we'll put that there, maybe this one a little bit higher up. Merge these and then fix the leaf shapes so they're all a little bit different to avoid that sameness. And then changing the colors is going to help a lot too with that. I'm going to add a few varieties of greens and blue greens. Man, I love this chalk brush. I should have been on using this a while ago. There we go. Let's straighten that out a bit. It looks like England won. I don't know how long football games go for. Yeah, okay, England won. Woo, go England. Okay. Man, I don't know anything about sports, but congrats. Congrats, England. Way. Just had to check on that. Now I can close that tab. Had a little Google score. It was cute when they got a goal. It had a little animation play with like a little soccer ball. A soccer ball. Football. I was trying to like find and watch a live stream until I realized I wasn't going to pay attention to it at all because I don't actually care about sports and I just wanted to know the score. You can't make me care about sports. There we go. Add a little bit peeking out over the tail. Okay, I think that one looks okay. This one needs a little something. Or is that distracting from the tail too much? Oh, I don't like how it's right up against the tail now that I look at it, actually. We're gonna scoot it over and then have it stop earlier. So I don't want to take away from the tail. I really like the tail. Let's stop it like right here. Fun fact. I can't wait. What's the fun fact? We're going to end that right there. Trubbish gets really excited when you try to catch him in the new Pokemon game. Aww. That's cute. I do have a soft spot for the trash Pokemon. I do love that little fella. Alright, we're going to hide that layer. We're going to get rid of the other background layer. Where was this one? Okay. Okay, it's looking good so far. And then one more layer we got to do. Based on these. This is like the most numerous one, but we're going to shortcut this a lot. I'm going to do like 3 long vines, and then we're just going to copy and paste those and shorten them and stuff. So let's do, actually, can I hide everything real quick? Oh no, of course. I made the vines their own thing in the group. Okay, whatever, it's fine, it's fine. We'll just do one long one over here on the right, and then I'll copy and paste that a bunch and change the leaves. We're going to speed run this. I do want to make sure the leaves are not the same size. Alright, whatever. Just select the right layer, get rid of this extra one I don't need, and get to drawing. These ones are, oh, they're varying shapes and sizes. Okay, whatever. This is just the layer with the most stuff on it in general, so I guess it doesn't matter if they're the same size. It's fine. Do the Trubbishes, the Trubbi, do they do like a little dance when you try to catch them, or do they get disappointed if like it looks like you're gonna pull a Pokeball out and then you don't? That would be kind of cute. Like, oh man. Please someone claim this garbage. I haven't even played a Pokemon game in years, but I would if they had more focus on Trubbish. An Oops All Trubbish game. My Switch has been gathering dust for a while. Really, I'm just waiting for an excuse to get a Switch 2, which I don't have any yet because they haven't announced an Animal Crossing game. They kind of go, my body is ready. They just like accept their fate. I like the idea that they want to be someone's friend. You know? I think that's cute. Like, you're choosing me? The pile of trash with a face on it? Adorable. I hate, like, normally I like blocky stuff. It's funny. Normally I'm trying to get things to look kind of squared off like that, but it's like too much. I need a little more organicness with this leaf up here. It's kind of bugging me. Okay, that's a little bit better. Like, some of them being square is okay, but it was like just too much. I don't know. I like some square shape to it. Some round, some square, you know, a little variety. Oh, I don't want it butted up against the tail. We'll put it right here for now because I'll move it and have it cut off and go off the canvas because I think that'll look better. But for now, we're gonna need it fully intact because I'm gonna copy and paste it and edit it. So we'll leave it alone for right now. But for right now, I hate that it's right up against the tail. I hate that so much. We're gonna fix that. It will be corrected. And then I noticed some of them, the leaves are like directly across from each other, and some they're staggered. You know, whatever. It's nature. It's not going to always be perfect, I guess. It's fine. This is how you know it's human art. This is the kind of mistake a human makes. AI, they'd all be perfectly symmetrical vines. Alright, I think that's okay. And I like that some of them end with, like, the leaves pointing down, some it's, like, more horizontal. Okay. We just don't want all of the vines to look the same. I think that's the main thing. They look similar enough to look harmonious, but... do that one there. We're going to do a bunch of copying and pasting right here. Move that up a bit. We're going to have some overlap. You need some overlap with these vines or they're going to look really strange and not organic. And this one we're going to bring down a bit, add more leaves at the top. Sorry about the siren if you can hear that in the background. I do live in a city, it happens. Alright, we're going to merge all these. And then I want to do one more long vine, and then copy and paste that. Alright, let's fix these ones on this chunk here first. Maybe the stream will be the oops all been too wrong stream, and then I move on to something else next week. Maybe that's what we're doing. I'm pretty chill working on this, actually, and he is in the thumbnail, so I think it's apt. People know what they're signing up for when they tune in, you know? I think it's fine. Let's see, can I finish a whole piece in the next, like, hour and a half? I think I can. I've made pretty good progress on him already, to be honest. Alright, now I kind of want to scoot this down. And scoot these up. Like that. This chalk brush really is doing a lot of the heavy lifting as far as like adding texture and warmth. I'm very pleased with it. Okay, and then we need to add, where else besides the two on the left? Okay, some in here. Just looking for less obvious places I need to add leaves because I'll miss them. Here and here. And then over here. Okay, I think that looks good. I think it's just the two on the left that need some, right? Yeah, it's just these two. Okay, let's fix this very empty, weird bit up here. Okay. I want to fix this. Have these a little bit more symmetrical. Maybe actually move this one down just a smidge. Alright. This is bugging me. Okay. I'm just seeing things that bother me and fixing them really quickly. That looked too much like it was just all part of the same shape. I want it to look like a leaf on a vine, not vine with weird chunk hanging off of it. I think that looks better. Okay. It sounds of the city. Yep, it happens. Alright, and then I want to do one more individual vine, and then that should fill in all the rest of the gaps. And then I'll get to changing colors, and then I'll get to refining the binturong, so I need to add some more texture to his head. I need to clean up the fuzz up here and add a few different shades to that. I need to add some highlights to his back and maybe like change the color on his little paws so you can actually see him. Little things like that. But I think I can finish him in the next hour and a half. We'll see. Alright, one more vine shape. We'll do a nice long one. Just to get slightly different shapes. So even if you squint, you can't tell that most of them are just the same vine, copied, pasted, and flipped. Just to make it look like I spent way more time on this than I did. We love those shortcuts. You want it to look like you spent dozens of hours on something, but you don't actually want to. At least I don't. I would rather finish a piece and be happy with it in like 5 hours than labor over something for 20-something hours, but that's me. I'm also not a realist painter or anything like that, but... I'd rather have something cute and done. Okay, that one's going to be missing a lot of leaves in the middle. That's okay. I don't want to hide the tail, so I will move this and the other one in a bit, but right now, that's fine. Duplicate. Move that. Let's move that right here. Move that right here. Yeah, we'll draw some, fill in the gaps there. Move one right here. Kind of want it going off the screen. There we go. Beautiful, and then we'll fill in those gaps. Oh. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. And I'll turn on all those vine layers and we'll see what we're working with, and if I need to fill it out with a couple more, just copy and paste from another layer. Bada bing. Then change the colors on these leaves so it's not all the same flat green. I'm gonna add a little bit of highlights. A variety of greens. Yeah, surprisingly we don't get too many sirens where I am. I'm in a fortunately pretty nice part of town. You don't hear too many. I think that's the first time my stream's been interrupted by a siren, to be honest. And not even interrupted. Kept talking through it anyway. Okay. I think I'm gonna make this one shorter over here. Or actually, no, I want the edges. The ones on the edges I think should be going all the way off the screen. I think that looks better. It's like framing it, you know? Frame in the picture with the border of leaves. It's like a jinx. As soon as I say there's nothing noisy, there's like a noisy truck outside the door. Outside the window. Alright. Okay, I think that works. Then I gotta fill in... Ooh, I kind of hate how this is doing like a 1, 2, 3 like this. I think it should be more like this. So we're gonna make this one just a smidge longer than the one next to it. That already looks better. Need it to be a little more randomized. Hate is such a strong word, but I do get a feeling of like, oh, I hate that when I see something ridiculous like that. Same over here, this. I want this to be more like this, so we're gonna make this one a little bit longer. I don't want it to hit the tail though. We'll just make really short leaves. And I think this one going fully down is fine. I think it's okay if it's like the tip of the tail. And I'll make those leaves really light so you can see the tail better on them. Okay. All right, let's work left to right and fill in some of these vines. We're nearly there with the vines, the shapes anyway. Vines were definitely a nice addition. I think so too. He needed to be like surrounded by something comfy and cozy. He was just exposed to bright sunlight with no shade. Now it looks like he's tucked in under a tree or something. Like he's somewhere where he would be able to take a nap. It makes more sense for the picture too. And it just looks nice. It's nap time. He shouldn't be out in broad daylight. It's cruel. Though he looks like a guy who could fall asleep in broad daylight, you know? That's a guy who could snooze anywhere. That's a professional napper. These are really rough shapes, but I think it doesn't matter, like, if they look like leaves or not, because zoomed out, it reads as leaves, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it matters so much. Maybe this is just me coping with not sitting here and hand drawing hundreds of leaves, but I think it's like, it's the essence of leaves, you know? I'm painting the aura of leaves. Trains are a city sound I like. Yeah, I do like a train sound. I like the sounds of the elevated trains when I'm walking around. I find that kind of soothing. We don't have one super close, like you can't hear the train from where I am, but it's close enough that I can walk to it, so it's perfect. But I think it would probably bother me if it was any closer. The old place I lived at had the nice added perk of like it was right on the lake basically, so from the window you could hear the waves lapping on the shore of Lake Michigan, so that was a nice little perk. But I'm a bit far from the lake now, so I don't hear anything, like birds. I hear more birds than anything. Birds and occasionally like neighbor kids or something. But it's pretty quiet. And the street doesn't get too much traffic either, so it's nice. Right, that one's good. Is there any other empty vines? I think that's it. Let me delete the sketch layer here. Let me add in this one. And then I'm going to need to fill in these gaps because I see there's some gaps that are bugging me now. And some duplicate chunks here. Okay, so if I take this one and scooch it over, that fills in a chunk there. I'm actually going to take this bit, move it up. Maybe I'll just duplicate that little piece. I like that. Duplicate, paste. I think that works. And maybe do that with a few spots. So let me just grab that one. Maybe I just fill it in with those like quote unquote blurry ones. And then they'll be really light in the distance too. I'm going to make their color lighter so they're not going to look as... It's not going to look this dark and dense in a moment. Stick that there. I think that's a perfect vine to fill in like the gaps, actually. Move this bit up. Get that one a little shorter. And then put that one over there. Let's flip this half and move it up. Like there. I think that works out okay. Let me flatten these layers here and fix the ends where it's still kind of messy. Oops. Fix that end, fix that end. There we go. And what was the one I wanted to move over? I think it was, yes, it was this layer. I wanted to move this vine on the right. I want that to be off the canvas as well and a little bit bigger. So we're gonna make it bigger, have it partially leave the canvas like that. Yeah, I like how it looks. And then take that faded background one and scoot it over to fill in this gap a little better. I think that looks pretty good. Background music is missing. No, it shouldn't be. Hold on. Oh, there we go. It should be back now. Or it should be happening now. I didn't hit play. Oops. There it is. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't realize it wasn't playing either. I'm usually good about making sure that's right. Okay, we're gonna make these all one layer. This is layer number 2, and then this, you know what, I liked it better, it was 4 layers. Let's, because some of these are butted up next to each other. So we'll leave these separate. Okay. Alpha lock these, and let's get some variety in colors. I like the background being like light green like this, but I also want to have a little bit of blue to suggest that like there is a sky at some place, but maybe not actually blue, maybe just like a bluer green. I don't know. Just a hint of some kind of sky in the background through beyond this tree. So I like that he's taking a nap in the daytime, but I want him to be somewhere cozy at the same time. Just a few different shades of light green, and maybe a little bit darker up here to make it look like it's further up into the tree or something. Something like that. There, he's in the shadow of the tree now. It's so cozy. You can hear it now. Okay, good. Oh, I gotta fix right there. This one's bugging me. This one right here. There. Okay, I think it'll be better when I get different colors in too, so let's do that. So this background layer, we want very light. Let's start with maybe not that light, maybe like this, and then get a little bit darker at the top, like so. Lighter background layer, a little more blurred, and then we'll do a little bit deeper on the second layer. Already that's looking so much better. Like, you can breathe a little. It's not so cramped visually. And then a little bit deeper for these ones that are a little bit closer. A little more blue. I like the blue greens. It's a little more rainforesty vibe than like the yellow green to me. Though he is kind of getting lost with all the blue. We'll do something. We'll give him some kind of highlight or something to make him stand out. Though I'm kind of liking like the monochromatic blue-green thing. We're going to do a contrast layer on top to make sure my values are good. He does look so comfy, doesn't he? He's a comfy little fella. Let's do a value check to see if I'm on the right track here. So black, set that to color. Okay, it's actually not bad. Like, you can see him. Like, you can tell he's against the background there. It's actually not too bad. I thought it was going to be worse. Though what we can do to fix it, not fix, but enhance, add some kind of highlight along the top of his back, his like fur above his head, and then add some kind of highlight to the tree branch, and I think that'll help a lot. But we'll make it real subtle. Okay, we're gonna fix the shape of his, like, head fluff, too. I need you to do a capybara in this style. Comfiest animal, yes. I would love to do, it's been done a million times. I've seen so many artists do this, but I love art of them hanging out in those little, like, hot baths with oranges and stuff. I think that's so cute. So I should do that. Just because everybody else has done it doesn't mean I can't do it. Nothing's new under the sun anyway. So cute. Or them being friends with everyone. Just a series of capybaras being friends with ducks and pigs and everything. They're so cute. Next on the list when I do a generic comfy animal stream like this. Alright, now I need that been too wrong picture nice and big so I can get a look at his head fluff. Zoom in, enhance. I feel like I'm on CSI. Or any number of CSI knockoff shows. Enhance. And I'm like zooming in 400% on a JPEG. There we go. It is just kind of a fluffy mess like this. Like, this isn't even too far off from what it actually looks like in the photo, to be honest. But I just want to attempt to clean it a little bit so it's a bit easier to read visually. Some more defined hairs. This really isn't far off. Actually, I'm going to combine... Do I want to combine this with this? No, this is like the whole arm. Yeah, that's fine. Merge it. That's fine. Merge it. Erase some bits. It's kind of what I did for the hedgehog spikes, to be honest, but just a little bit looser and fluffier. He's a fuzzy little fella. Genuinely best animal ever, you get it. Yeah, I do. I totally get it. My favorite animals are still river otters, so I think they're maybe the best. Capybaras are S tier, though. Excellent, excellent animals. Alright, he's looking mighty fluffy. I do want to clean up these old man... This is like old man ear hair to me, like these chunks. And then I want to make sure that this chunk over here is visible against the rest of him, which is so dark that it's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to do that. Maybe add like a blue tone or something to the top of the arm there. I don't know, I'll figure it out. And then, what did I want to do? There was something with the leaves I wanted to do. Oh yeah, I wanted to lighten up the color of the leaves, the vines behind the tail there. Let's merge these two. I want to lighten up just this one here. Because I want that tail to really pop, because I really like the tail. And this one too, we'll do the same thing. There, that tail is much more visible now, right there. And then I kind of want to do something similar where the head is. Just so you can fully see all that fluffy goodness a little bit better. There. It's a little bit more clear. It'll be better with highlights on the tree and him. He's having a sweet dream. Yes, he is. He is. Such a happy little guy. Okay. Take off that alpha lock for a second because I want to make this more solid. I don't like that it's transparent. It's a tree. It shouldn't be see-through. I want solid hunk of wood up here. It's okay if it's a little textured, but it was like actually see-through. Had a ghosty kind of effect. I don't mind if the color's wrong for right now. I just want the shape to be right. Fill in these little weird white areas here. Let's see right here, it's kind of ghosty over here too. So we're gonna fix that real quick. Solidify that. Make it a nice hunk of wood. Okay, that's better. I want a nice, harsh, clean line like that. Okay, dig that. And then here it's a little ghosty. Right there too. Alright, now we'll alpha lock it. Fix some of this, like this shading should be here. Maybe make this like more, I don't know. I want it to be shaded, but it's like so dark right here with the fur that I kind of want to just use green to like, that's like, it's too saturated. Like a blue-green to suggest that it's in shadow without it being like dark, you know? Because it's already, there's so much dark happening with the fur that I gotta find ways to lighten up stuff around it. Because otherwise it's just this big blob and you can't really tell what's going on. Your best buddy is Otter. Yes. You have a big, floppy, dopey dog named Otter, and he's very cute. He is my niece's best buddy. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. We're gonna do clipping mask on the tree. Find a lighter, brighter green. Let's try this for a highlight first. Oh, I like that color a lot, actually. So we'll leave that for that. Then we need a little bit of highlight over here. Oh, I like that color. It kind of makes me want to add more yellowy tone to the background, but maybe I'm just overthinking. I kind of just go with what colors feel good more than like what's quote-unquote right given the lighting situation. So maybe I'm missing out on a color combo that could be better, but I'm okay with that. I'm happy with this. We're gonna do a clipping mask and do something similar to the back fur here. Maybe a little lighter and brighter and greener. I feel like green and blue would be reflecting on him from the light bouncing off the various leaves and things. That's too gray. I feel like it needs to be a little more green. And he's so cool and shadowy that maybe warmer green? That background maybe should be darker there. Maybe that's the trick. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's try again. Okay, I'm thinking. There's like greeny blue light coming and bouncing off the leaves and impacting him. Right? So it would be something like this. That brightens up that line, but it's getting lost with all the vines. So I think what I need to do is darken up the background a bit more up there. Let's try that. We'll get this in here. I like that color too. Like, I don't know if it's the quote-unquote right color, but I like it. Let's add a clipping mask down here, or another layer here. Let's see what happens if I just go in like this. Maybe the foliage is deeper and darker up here, you know? It gets real jungly. Like right here. I'm gonna have to change the vine colors up here too now. Okay, I have an idea. I darken all the stuff at the top, right? And then it'll make the highlight stand out more. Maybe I need to make that even brighter. Like, where did I put it? Right here. Maybe I'll make the highlight a little bit brighter. And then I add a highlight to the fuzz. It won't be like this, it'll be lighter, but I just want to see how these colors look in my I have a vision. I don't know if it's going to be right, but stick with me. Trust the plan. There is no plan. I'm winging it. I'm winging it. Alright, maybe I even want like yellow, like there's a little bit of sun peeking through for the highlight. Let's try that on the back highlight here. Let's duplicate it, alpha lock, and let's try something even more yellow-green. I don't like... I don't want it to be too bright though, but maybe I do. Hold up. Maybe I do want that. Maybe that's better, actually. But where is the light coming from if it's that bright? No, we're going back. Maybe somewhere in the middle. Delete that. I gotta fix the shape of this. It's driving me crazy. Maybe like this. Okay, I think if I make the vines darker, it's gonna help a lot with this. I just want this to be maybe a little bit brighter. Like maybe this color. Cause he is under like shadowy leaves, right? It would sure help if I learned anything about color at any point in my life. But... Okay, paint these hairs back in with the eraser on this layer. So we still get those nice old man hairs. There we go, I think that looks a bit better. That's kind of legible, like you can tell what's happening. There's a tuft of fur over here, and it's got a highlight on it, right? Oh, I hate that it doesn't match the right side. Let me figure this out. Maybe I just copy and paste the left side and flip it on the right. Maybe we do that. Okay. I will figure this out. Ooh, that messes up a lot if I move that, doesn't it? No, it's just because it's connected to the arm. Alright, we're fixing this. We will fix this. It will be okay. Duplicate, rotate. Oh, why is it not showing? No, it's because this shouldn't be clipping. What happened? I see. Okay. This goes up here for now. This goes here. On top of everything. I gotta go fix that arm layer real quick. Okay. Then this needs its own clipping mask. Just hair over here. Like this. Wish I slept that peacefully. I know, wouldn't that be so nice? Maybe you just need to be, you need to channel him, you know? Just find a nice tree. And chill. I think this needs to be brighter or something. Where is this? Oh, it's because I alpha locked it. Okay. Okay. Fine. Maybe even a little bit brighter on the very tips. And then erase to give it that furry texture back. Alright, I think that looks good from a distance, and that's what counts, right? Like nobody's zooming in when they look at this. They look at it from a distance and go, "Oh, that's cute." You know? I have to stop zooming in 600%. But I do think what will help is changing these vine colors at the top so they get darker at the top. So let's try that. Alrighty, I like that. I like where that's going. Just a little bit darker and a little bit bluer. Like that. And then the third layer. A little bit deeper, a little bit bluer, and a little bit deeper. And I kind of want even the background to be a little bit more blue. And then kind of fade here. Then maybe there's little peaks of sunlight, you know, so like a hint through the vines. Just a little stripe. I think that gives the impression I want it to give. So let's check the values now. Let's see. Okay, the highlight definitely helped. You can see him better and clearer. I think the tail's getting lost a little bit, so I want to add a highlight, I think, to both sides of the tail. But I think that's helping. And then maybe a highlight on top of that paw in the front, the back paw in the front, on the top of it. I think that would help. But he's not getting too lost with all the vines, which I think is okay. There's dark darks and there's light lights happening, and you can see what's happening, so I don't think it's too bad. Okay, always trying to check my values. Wait, let me check the tree real quick. The tree on the left side is kind of getting lost in the vines, so I might darken that shadow. Let's try that. Where's the tree? Alright, we'll do something a little bit deeper. Oops. Deeper. It's gotta pop a little against the leaf. Or maybe I'll just lighten that leaf under there too. Where's the chalk? Bring the chalk back. There we go. That, and then I'm gonna lighten up those leaves behind that just a smidge. There. I can even add a little bit of texture by highlighting the tops of some of the leaves. Adds a little bit more color variety too. Lightens them up a little. I think that's alright, that's alright, that's alright. Alright, highlight on the tail for sure. Where's the tail? Where's the tail? Right here. Oh, the highlight would just be on the same layer. Beautiful. Let's do it. We can do this one even a little lighter because there's more sunlight peeking through. Why is that not showing? Oh, it's because it's alpha locked. There we go. Let's do a nice bright highlight on the tail. Erase some of it because we don't want it that thick, or I don't anyway. Then even brighter and more white because there's like sun coming through here. More sun. I think that works, and then we'll do even a little bit on this side. Whoa, didn't want to do that. Just a smidge. Oh, that makes the tail look so thin though. I think I'm gonna get rid of that. Just keep it on the left side. I think that's good. Even though you're late, you're here. That's fine. I've just been working on this guy. Gonna work on him for the rest of the stream, I think. He's chilling. So you haven't missed much. It's just been all been too wrong. It's been an oops all been too wrong kind of stream. I'll do other stuff next week. I'm trying to wrap this one up this week. I'm in the zone now. Whatever's done at the end of the stream is the finished piece. I'm not gonna harbor on it, or I'm not gonna linger on it. It's a binturong, Binturong. Apparently they smell like popcorn, and that's the only fun fact anybody knows about them. And they're very cute. Where is the paw layer? The back paw. There we go. Clipping mask. I can't remember who requested it, but somebody was like, have you ever drawn a binturong? And I was like, no, but I would like to, and here we are, so. So I've been given a great idea to draw a capybara in this style, so I'm gonna have to do that now. Another stream. We'll do this highlight even lighter, because A, you can't see it, and B, there's more sun coming over here, so it makes sense. So we'll do that nice and bright. I don't want to add too much highlights and stuff, because I like the simple style. But sometimes you need a little something. And we're going to copy that highlight color, make it a little bit lighter, and then just do the top of this back paw here. Keep it real simple. Maybe the underside too. Nah, that's too much. Just the left. We'll keep it like the tail where it's just on the left. And then I wanted to change. I wanted to lighten up the paws so you can see the paw prints and the toes and stuff. So we're gonna lighten these up a little, if I can find the layer. Let's do a clipping mask, just to make it non-destructive. We'll just lighten up the fur a little bit. Down here. I don't want it to look like the fur is getting lighter, but I want you to be able to read the paw print and be able to see it. So just slightly lightening up. Same with this back here. Oh, I didn't want to smudge. We don't want softness. I like that chalky texture. Okay, you can make the paws a little bit more readable, and we're going to do the same on... Where's the rest of him? Right here. Wait. Where's the... Oh, it's right here. So we'll do the same here so you can actually see his little toes. Just light enough that you can see his toes, but still keeping that nice dark fur color. And you know what, it makes sense anyway, because there's more light down here, so his fur would be a little lighter than it is up top. That's how I'm justifying it. Okay. Maybe I take an in-between shade like this one and do that. Make it a gradient, but don't make it smooth, you know? So I like that. I like all that rough texture. We're keeping that. And then I'll do the same on the back paw if I can find the layer. Find the layer right here. Just lighten that up a smidge. Maybe even on the bottom part of the leg here. This could even be slightly lighter. Maybe? Just a touch. Now I'm not crazy with the color of the under the tree, so we're gonna add a... Where is it? Shadow. Add a nice deep green shadow there. Okay, I think that's working. Okay, with the values, he's readable. You can see him. A nap like that does look so good, doesn't it? Looks healing. Then I wanted to fix his face, and this is going to add a lot of contrast to his face as well. So let's go in and paint this head. I like the highlight color I have on there, that like yellowy green gray. I like that, so we're gonna keep that. I'm just gonna paint him, and we're gonna make the ears a little bit more light because it looks like in the photo they have slightly lighter fur on their ears. In that photo ref, maybe even a little brighter on this right ear so it pops out against that highlighted bit there. So a little bit brighter right here, just so you can see that. Beautiful. And then I want to add some texture to the head without ruining that, because it's like a flat wash of gray right now. So we're going to add just a little bit of variety of grays, and then I'll erase the bit at the top where the highlight is. We want all the attention on his face. This is the focal point. This is the whole reason for the picture here, is this serene face. So we gotta bring the eye in a little bit. Add a little bit of variety of grays. Some bluey grays, some greeny grays, some yellowy grays. We'll add like a more yellowy gray where his eyes are. Bring your eye right to his eyes. That's where we want them. Make it real subtle though. I don't want it to be quite as dramatic as like Morticia Addams and the Addams Family, where she's got that highlight over her eyes. Of Bagheera laying on a tree branch in Jungle Book. Yeah, Jungle Book has the best inspiration for jungle colors and textures. That's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And we love Bagheera. Old Baggy. Just a little pause. Yeah, he's just taking a little pause. I'll accept puns if they're cute. That's my rule. You're allowed to make puns in the chat if they're cute. That might be even a little too bright, but we'll see how it looks when I brighten up the nose a bit. So let's do that. Let's take that same highlight color at the top. We're going to use the chalk brush again. It won't be this pronounced, but I'm just starting here. And then maybe a little bit brighter at the top of the nose. And a little bit of a lighter gray in here. Like that. Okay, that's cute. It's cute. I'm liking him. I like him. And I think there's a lot more light and attention going to his face here. The tail, I think, is getting a little bit lost. Maybe. So maybe I want to brighten up the stripes a smidge. And I was going to make the stripes more fuzzy at first, but I kind of like that they're solid shapes because there's so much fuzzy texture happening everywhere else. So I'm just going to lighten them up a little bit, these rings, these stripes. Rings like a tree. And that's real subtle, but I like that a little bit better. And then this vine underneath is really bugging me because it's kind of taken away from the movement of the tail here, so I'm going to lighten that up a lot. We're going to, like, even lighter than the lightest one. We're going to make it barely a whisper darker than the background. It's like that. There we go. Ooh, I like that color actually, so we're gonna fade that into some of these other vines. The background ones. There we go. I like that gray green. Soft. I would use this as a paint color in my house. This like very soft gray green. Love that. Okay. What kind of animal is this? I've never seen it before. I don't know what like he's more closely related to, like bears or anything. I don't know what, but that's what he looks like on the left in the photos. And he's really cute. So, I mean, what more do you need to know? I don't know. I had to Google what kind of habitats they live in to see if it was justified to do vines. And it is, because they live in rainforests, apparently. And now I kind of want to push the vines a little bit further back. I want to try out something. Just a wash of, like, that gray-green over everything, and then reduce the opacity. And I want to push these vines a little bit visually behind him. Let's try this. If it doesn't work, I can just delete it. It's no big deal. But let's try out something. Here's no opacity. And then just like, just a little something. I kind of like add. Oh, that's too late. I'm cooking. Oh, let me cook. Oh, I kinda, no, that's like too saturated. Ooh, I like, it's so gray and muted, but I kind of love that. It's like, yeah, it's Binturong. Binturong. Why did I love the one that was just like all gray? It's just like washed out and muted, but it's so peaceful. I think because it's such a sleepy picture. Okay, we're gonna do just a smidge of this, just like that. Let's make it a little bit more blue tinted at the top though, like blue-green. Let's just play with it. It can't hurt. Oh, that barely makes any difference. It's so light and subtle you can't even see. But I do like that. I do want to have more sunlight peeking to the right side of the tail because I do think the tail's still getting lost a little. So let's... Oh, that already helps a lot. Wow, that's all I really needed to do. Okay, cool. Just have some more sun peeking through there, and then maybe a few more peaks of sun at the top. I'm really liking that. I think that's good. It's adorable in the images I've seen online, or should I say appawable. He is very cute. He's very, very cute. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with him. I do have a half hour and I don't really want to start anything new. So let me just refine what I have. Let me play with textures and things. Because I would like a bit more, there's like little gray hairs throughout his coat when I zoom into this picture. So let's do like some little touches of gray. He's a sleepy old man. We want to have some grays in here. Lighter grays, because we have all these really deep grays. Let's try just a few sprinkles of gray throughout. So I want to get these little, there's like little chunks, and these are too big. I'm going to erase them, but I just want to lay out where I want to put them, more or less. Keep the shape simple and then bring them in a bit. I do kind of like this triangle pattern. Some tufts of gray. And does he have them in his arms too? You don't mean puns. You find them funny. You don't mind. I play up how much I don't like puns. Though I do find it annoying if I'm looking up, like, you know, the only way to find an answer for anything on the internet anymore is to add Reddit to the end of the search. Like, you have a question and the top result is always some AI thing or some blog that's pointless. So I add Reddit to find, like, real people answers. But then the first, like, 10 comments are always people making bad puns about the thing and not actually giving useful information. And it really grinds my gears, so... For joke purposes on the stream, I play up how much I hate puns. Because it's fun to wind up a streamer with things. Or on Reddit, it's people, like, quoting movies. Like a chain of 50 people just quoting a movie or a song at each other, and it's just like, come on. You gotta grow up. Please. Don't make me read this. With my eyeballs on my internet that I pay for. So I like the idea of that, but I'm gonna execute it better. Let's try. Okay, I like the idea of the little triangle tufts of gray, but there's gotta be a better way to do it. There has to be a better technique. So maybe if I make them solid, let me try something. It could be silly, but I got time to kill. I got time to play with this. I'm gonna make them solid, right? And then I'm gonna erase with the chalk brush and see if that gives me like a nice chunk of gray. In my mind, it's gonna work. I have a vision, but I don't... Sometimes stuff just doesn't work. It changed to DuckDuckGo, which focuses on protecting privacy and has the AI optional, unlike with Google, is 10 times better. I use it sometimes when I'm looking up like photos of animals, because you won't get like AI results as much. Or at all. Pinterest is still good for now. Like, Pinterest is flooded with AI like everything else, unfortunately, but as far as finding like art inspiration, illustration, examples, it's still pretty good. I have a pretty good couple mood boards on there for things. Google is becoming more useless every day, though, for finding pictures, sadly. Alright, let's just try it with these. Let me see if this works. Or if it looks ridiculous. It might look ridiculous, but if I carve away at it with the chalk brush, I just want it to look like tufts of fur. I don't know if this is going to work this way. In my mind, it worked beautifully. I think the first method was probably better, but just actually focus the... Yeah, that's too much detail. Okay. Stick to the chalk brush. And where'd it go? Chalk brush. And then carve out triangles like that. Okay. That already looks more like fur. I just want little tufts of gray. And they won't be this bright either. And his fur isn't really this long either, so we're going to shorten it up. What are your favorite shows and movies you grew up with? Oh, I watched basically every cartoon ever in the 90s I grew up with. So, I liked all the Amblin Studio ones like Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, all that kind of stuff. I liked, every kid in the 90s was a SpongeBob kid. I loved Dexter's Lab, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Powerpuff Girls, you know, Ed and Eddie, all that good stuff. Maybe the best shows were probably Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls, looking back. Like, and Courage. Courage is like a hard sell for a little kid, but... Oh, and I was a huge Invader Zim fan growing up, I should say. Huge. That was my show. I would like hurry home to watch it on TV after school when there was going to be like a new episode. Good times. Huge Invader Zim fan. The one Courage the Cowardly Dog. The one cartoon on Cartoon Network I could not stand was Cow and Chicken. I thought it was so gross. Like, everything about the show was, like, gross. Anyone ever remember the Playmobil movie? That might have been after my time. You have to keep in mind I'm also 36, so the things I grew up with are going to be a lot different, but... So I have not seen the Playmobil movie. Nowadays, if it's not something that my niece is into and it's a kid's thing, I probably haven't seen it. You know? I know about Bluey from, like, watching Bluey with kids that I've been with. Like, babysitting or whatever, but... Otherwise, I wouldn't know anything about Bluey. Vividly watching the start of it and then never watching the rest and never remember watching it again. We had a bunch of random, like, I grew up in the era, back in my day, we grew up with, like, VHS tapes of just random stuff, and they would have, like, these old, like, 50s cartoon compilations of, like, Christmas cartoons. So I remember vividly, like, weird cartoons from the 50s of, like a little snow guy, or was it a bear? Or, I don't remember. Getting trapped in, like, a Christmas jail that had bars that were made out of candy canes, and he had to lick his way through the candy cane bars. Like, I remember stuff like this. I couldn't tell you what cartoon it is. I'm sure I could find it in a few minutes if I looked, but just all kinds of random stuff we had on tape that we would just watch because it was all there was. There wasn't streaming, there wasn't, you know, so you just pop in a tape of whatever. You're going to watch The Little Mermaid 800 times or until the tape doesn't work. Great Mouse Detective, Fern Gully. Once Upon a Forest is a niche 90s animated movie that I watched repeatedly just because we had the tape. you know, if we didn't have the tape, I would have probably never seen that movie, because I've asked people about that, and they're like, what? What are you talking about? Because it was like a straight to VHS like release that was never in theaters. Just some random movie, but I loved it. Sorry you're late. Oh, you're good, you're good. I'm just working on this guy today. You haven't missed much. It's a Oops All Been Too Wrong stream. Just finishing him up. How am I, Sunshine? I'm great. I'm peachy. Had a nice night last night at my friend's, who threw a little like house show in their basement, which was cool. So which is why I didn't stream last night. I don't know if I like how even this pattern is. It's like two. I both like it and don't like it. So let's just try moving these things around. And then I'm gonna fade it out because I don't want a million of these either. I just want a few tufts of gray. Like this. Nice art. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm liking how this one's turning out. These are too opaque for my liking, so let's just like not, you know, let's just tone it down a little. Like that. I don't even know if that adds anything. I'm really just noodling with this at this point, you know? Just trying stuff out. Just little tiny chunks of gray. It's the holidays for me as of now. Woohoo! That's right, it's all backwards. Or no, it's summer now. I keep forgetting, like, you know, summer vacation exists, but I'm old and don't do summer vacation, so. In my mind, I was thinking seasons, because I think I remember you saying you're in Australia. I was thinking seasons or flip. Anyway. Whenever I see shows or games do a whole summer update or say happy summer, I laugh knowing it's winter where I live. Yeah, it's like everybody was excited to play Animal Crossing and go to the Southern Hemisphere islands because all the seasons were flipped and you could get different fish and stuff. It's pretty cool. Where is the front paw layer? Am I going crazy? Oh, it's right here. Okay. I want to add highlight to the right side. I don't want it to be this bright, but I want it to exist. It's like this. I'll change the color of it in a minute. Let me get the shape of it right. And then let me fix the shape of the arm because it's like really wacky up here. Let's smooth that out. Right there. And let's move this to a new layer really quick so I can lower the opacity of just this bit. Maybe I don't like that. Do I? Maybe I like it like thicker up here and then thinner down here. I'm really just messing around with stuff at this point. Maybe just a little highlight like that. Something about the shape of, I think it's the old man fuzz here that's like ruining the shape. There we go. Just tuck that in a little bit. Now it all kind of blends into one shape, which I'm not crazy about. Okay, let's do that so there's more of the fuzz sticking out like here. I think that works, and then if I pull the highlight in here, then you can see that old man fuzz sticking out. Okay, I think I cracked it. I think I cracked the code, and then you get some of that nice little salt and pepper grayish stuff going on in there. Crisis averted. I like some of that gray in there, lighter gray. Like, I like that. I like that. It's something. It's coming together. Let's see. One thing I love about smaller channels with less people talking in the comments, it leads to the YouTuber learning more about the people who comment the most on their videos. Yeah, I like my chill little stream. I have no ambitions to be like, I just do this for fun, you know? That's why it's not monetized. That's why I don't like post YouTube videos. Like, this is just fun for me to do, you know? Just come on here once a week and work on something that's not for a client. That's just like for funsies, and just talk to people about it. It's chill. Animal Crossing lets it step up its game if it wants to distinguish itself from Pokopia. I haven't played Pokopia. It looks cute, though. The one thing you don't like about Animal Crossing New Horizons has a yearly cycle and every day is our day. Yeah, you can time travel, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to do, to, like, go into the settings and, like, change the date and then go back into the game. It's, like, a pain. It is a very zen thing if you actually play it the way it's supposed to, but I'm impatient, and they've made it a decorating simulator game where you have to unlock the stuff over time. So, and it feels like you have to play it yeah, at least they did change, in the new ones, the villagers don't really get that cranky at you for not logging in. In the early game for GameCube, they would get really mad, like, you haven't talked to me in 6 months, and it made you feel, like, actually guilty about not playing. So that's the one advantage of, like, the dialogue being dumbed down in the new game, is, like, they really don't care if you haven't talked to them in a long time. They're just like, oh, hi, nice to see you. So that's the one advantage of the game being a little bit dumbed down in the dialogue. They were really mean in the first game, and I think a lot of it was, like, translation errors. A lot of them were very rude. I want to brighten up, now that I'm looking at it. Where is it? I have so many unnecessary layers, and I do not want to fix it, because, like, I'm almost done, you know? I just want to lighten up this side of the light. Ooh, where is it? Where is it? Right here. Alpha lock. I just want to brighten this up just a bit. I don't even want it this bright. I want it like this. Maybe darker. This a little bit brighter. There we go. I'm like losing my ability to speak. Cut off that little chunk here so it's a little bit smoother. And then smooth out the bottom so it tapers and fades into that. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see, the day and night cycle is also really annoying because you have to be up playing the game. Yeah, it is annoying that, like, the store should be open 24/7. I think that's very annoying. Because people, like, have lives and different jobs and shifts and responsibilities. And you shouldn't have to time travel to go to the store. Maybe it has different selections at different times of the day. So, like, oh, you missed out on the restock of the new stuff because you weren't up at 7 a.m. But I think the store should be 24/7. Or you can unlock, like, a 24/7 store, you know? The villagers are boring. Yeah, they didn't do anything in New Horizons, so I hope they take that feedback into account with whatever the next game is. You should be able to sit and, like, play card games with them and have mini games and go into their house and do stuff besides, like, get a recipe from them. Like, you should be able to interact with the villagers. There should be advantages to having different villagers rotate on your island. Because it's such a decorating simulator, it was all about getting the aesthetic villagers, because they had no personality. So there's no value in them except the aesthetic value they bring to your island walking around. If they actually gave them personalities and there was some incentive to have a rotating selection of villagers, people constantly moving out like they're supposed to. You're supposed to have constantly different people moving in and out. Like, they give you, maybe when they move out, you get, like, a little, like, souvenirs from them as they're on their trip if you were really good friends with them or whatever. Wherever they've moved to, they send you letters with gifts from where they moved to more often. And then they come to visit and play mini games with you, and they get to know your new neighbors, and you grow this community of all these villagers that have different relationships with each other. Like, They could do so much with it. Not a lot happened with the villagers and they're kind of dull. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Alright, so let me double check my values here. He looks pretty good. I don't think anything is getting super, like, melting into anything else. I think it's okay. I think I'm at peace with him. So I think I'm just gonna add, whoa, a noise layer, and then I'm gonna add some color adjustment layers just to mess around at the last minute here. We gotta add noise because I love my little grainy texture. Set that to overlay there. And then let me play with just some more mood. I like a nice bluey green. Let's just try some different shades of blues and greens and different color adjustment layers and see what magic happens. And if nothing magical happens, we can just turn it off. That's, you know, the beauty of digital art. You can just play with stuff and go, actually, I hate that, so we're not doing that. But you know, maybe I want a yellowy green to like be over here where like more sunlight is coming in, like there's little stripes of it peeking through here, you know. And then more deep jungly blue greens. Just a little something. Let's just mess around. We got a few minutes before I normally get off here. Alright, overlay is too intense, but maybe? Ooh, I kind of like that. Let me see if that messed with the values too much. We'll put the values up top to double check. No, I don't think that has any impact on the... Not too much anyway. If you get like this, it's like too dark on the face. But like here's pretty good. That makes it a little bit more interesting color-wise. It's really subtle, but I do dig that. Can't believe Nintendo ripped themselves off with Animal Crossing by making Poketopia. Poketopia is just Animal Crossing but for Pokemon. It's okay if you rip yourself off if you're doing something new with it, but then again, I haven't played the game, so I don't know how different it is. If it's literally just Animal Crossing with a Pokemon skin, that's kind of irritating, but I think there's probably, hopefully, more to it than that. I am out of the loop. I don't know anything about it except I've seen clips of it on my YouTube and it looked cute. So, Lord knows. Let me add a little bit of texture too. Let's just see what textures we can add, shall we? Grungy. Ooh, I like the look of that one. Let's just see. I like to add stuff to my canvas. Just stuff. Maybe not that. Ooh, maybe I want something stripy. Scratchy. Yeah. That'll imply that there's a lot more vines than there actually are. Ooh, I like that idea. Okay. Let's do some vertical stripies and then lower the opacity and make sure it's not on top of our little guy here. But I like the stripes. It adds a bit of density to this foliage here. I'm into that. And maybe a deeper color at the top. And then maybe on the... Maybe a layer underneath I do the sky color to like break up some of the vines up top. Okay, and I think if I take these two, merge them down, and I put them underneath all the vines, I think that'll look cool. Let's like right here. And then let's just lower the opacity a smidge. Like here. Alright, because I don't want it to be full opacity because that's like too much mess. But like here, I think that's pretty cool. Though right here is getting messy. This area right here. What can we do about that? We can erase some of what's behind here. It's a little bit muddy right there. We gotta pull some of these vines forward. Okay, that's better. Okay. Alright. Alright. Nothing too hidden, nothing too muddy. I'm pretty happy with that. Let me get him full screen for you guys to check out, or basically full screen. Let me get the references off the screen because we can say goodbye to them because we're not working on him next week. Let's remove these images and put this guy full screen. I really like him. I think he turned out to be pretty cute. And basically a finished piece in like 3 hours, give or take. You know, 3.5. Let me see the comments that I've messed up, that I've missed here in the last couple minutes. You have any artist channels you would recommend to us? You know what's funny is I do art on YouTube, but when I'm watching YouTube, I am watching like anything that's not art. I watch all kinds of like just random stuff. I don't watch a ton of artists. I do like Marco Bucci, I believe is his name. He does like this series of like 10 minutes to better painting. I haven't watched him in a while, but for art channels, I recommend him. Marco, Marcobucci. I believe is how you spell his name. He's incredible. He has like the most amazing command of light and color I've ever seen. Amazing stuff. Let me think, any other artist channels? Not really. I watch like How to Cook That with Anne Reardon and like random Sims builds videos, and I watch Limmy streams. That's my favorite streamer. And I'll watch like Queso streams, and that's it. Like, end of list. Let's see. It took me a long time to realize out of everything I've watched, I've never actually grew up with any superhero stories, which is why it's hard for me to... I'm not into superhero stuff at all. That's just not my thing. It's absolutely appallable. Oh, darling, Beatles reference. Cute. Yeah, I think this guy's pretty... I think he's all right. I think he's done. I'm pretty happy with him anyway. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I will post this guy on my art Instagram and my streaming Instagram. I'll put my little signature on it and do that as soon as I get off this stream here. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all next weekend for, I don't know, more cute animals requests. We'll see what I feel like doing next week, but I'll see you all there. Thanks so much.